I think that fart was quite a very good fart. But yeah, and he was walking up the street with a head. Say
something.
something.
Fucking hell. We only just started.
Do you like our look, guys?
Boom!
I'm scrolling TikTok. Anyway, we've come across, like, me and a few of our friends have got, obviously, a WhatsApp. I'm, like, getting this live now. Mate, you get £150 for the best fart. The best fart. So all they're doing, I don't even know why, right? It was the weirdest experience we'd all experienced, but it was so, like, addictive to watch. It was so funny. I'm not sure what his name is, but yeah, he's on TikTok and but he's funny, but he like when he acts things out, he's so serious. And then there's like 3 judges, and obviously these 3 judges are so serious. So they'll be like, I think that fart was quite a very good fart, and I think it could have been done a little bit more effortlessly. But they're so serious, it's funny, right? But listen, this is the funniest bit, right? So this guy's come in. I am not joking you, right? He's moving his arse cheeks. He's the... Like, you would, honestly, mate, he was a champion farter. He was a champion farter. I swear to God. He was a champion farter. In his bio, his page, everything. He does it for a living. Like, full on, like, honestly, if I wouldn't take off, right, then.
We're in the wrong job.
Then, right, listen to this. Next minute, this girl comes on.
Oh, God, has she done a fan?
Mate's queefing. Full on queef. Full on, swear to God. Right, she's like, I can do the queef. I do. So she was a professional queefer. Swear to God.
So we've got a professional farter and a professional queefer in the room.
Right, honestly. And I'm thinking, well, wow. Anyway, she's called Lily Summer. I can't remember her name. Anyway, so I am not joking you. I've never heard nothing like it. Like, she was full on farting, queefing, like, full on, like she's going, oh, and we get to do it like this, and then like she's like, like, honestly, her body was everywhere. She was like, how do you guys want to see me do it? And mate, we're howling, like, full on crying in the car. It was so funny. Anyway, moving on. Tomorrow, Josh is off to a concert. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you all know these episodes are well ahead. It will still tell you what we're doing present, but you've got to remember we're a week in it.
Week and a half or so.
But yeah, we are ahead. But the present right now, Josh is going to a concert tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And I'm very excited, actually, but I've not been out for so long. Yeah, so I am nervous a bit.
It's a good night, you know it is, and you're with people that you know you'll have a good night with. You never know, I might come meet you. Come and have a drink with you.
Oh my God, absolutely. You actually could run around the fucking corner.
We'll see. I can't have one, so we'll see. So we've had a few messages. Thank God a few of you have reached out and give us a few messages this week. So we've had a few stories. A few of them we won't be mentioning names, obviously, for reasons that they don't want us to say the names.
Just your face because you're so serious. You literally got that face.
It doesn't matter because I am scared. Oh!
Fuck off. Well, yeah, no, thank you for sending your stories in. Because we've... Because we needed the stories, to be honest. And they've really come in like proper handy, haven't they, as well, considering we're doing Halloween episodes and shit now. So yeah, we're going to read you a few stories that we've been sent and some stories that we've seen online and shit. What faces is she doing behind me? Fucking knew you were doing faces. You little shit. I thought she looks dead serious every time I look back at her and she's like...
Should I start with one of the stories then?
Yeah, you go with one of them.
Obviously I've wrote one down because me being dyslexic, I find it hard to read certain things. So if I write it down how I would read it, I find it a lot easier. If any of you are thinking, why she got a fucking big notepad down here? So 15-year-old girl called Donna lived with her father in a small house in the suburbs. Ever since her mum died, Donna depended on her father for everything. They had a lovely relationship and loved each other very much. One morning, Donna's father was leaving on a business trip. As they had breakfast together, he told her that he'd be home very late that night. So he then gave her a kiss on the forehead, grabbed his briefcase, and walked out of the front door. Later that day, when Donna came home back from school, she did some homework and watched some TV. By midnight, her father had still not arrived back home. So she decided to go to bed. That night, she had a bad dream. She found herself standing at the edge of a busy highway, cars and trucks flying by at an alarming rate. She looked across the highway and saw a familiar figure. Standing on the other side, it was her father. His hands were cupped around his mouth and he seemed to be shouting something to her, but she couldn't make out what he was saying, as the traffic was very loud. Her father looked really sad. He seemed to be desperately trying to communicate something. Don't open the door. Suddenly, Donna was awoken from the dream by a strange tapping noise. Then someone started to ring the doorbell downstairs. She got out of her bed quick and put her slippers on and thrown her dressing gown on and ran down the stairs to the front door, looking through the peephole. She seen her father. Her father was there, staring at her outside. The doorbell kept ringing constantly. Hold on, I'm coming, she shouted. She pulled back the deadbolt and was about to unlock the door when she stops. She looked through the peephole at her father again. Something about his expression didn't look quite right. His eyes was wide open and he looked terrified. She slid the deadlock back into place. Dad, she yelled through the door. Did you forget your keys? Dad, answer me. Dad, please. I need you to answer me. Is there someone out there with you? Why won't you answer me? I'm not opening the door until you say something. The doorbell kept ringing and ringing. But for some reason, her father refused to answer her, despite cries for the rest of the night. The frightened, scared girl cowered in the corner of the hallway, helplessly listening to the endless noise of the ringing doorbell. Eventually, she fell into an uneasy sleep. At dawn, she woke up and realised that everything was quiet. She crept over to the door and looked through the peephole. Again, her father was still there, just standing there, staring at her. She cautiously opened the door and was confronted with a sight that filled her with unimaginable horror. Her father's head was hanging from a nail above the door. There was a note attached to the door in crude, scribbled handwriting. It read, "Clever girl."
Oh, God. That's a bit
See, I
fucked.
actually didn't read that when I got it. I just obviously...
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's someone's story. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but thank you very much for the story, obviously. But yeah, oh my God.
Anything that's like horror like that, unless it's fake,
Yeah.
I'm not good with it. Like, fuck that. I love anything that's like crime stuff. So I've watched a few like crime scene cleaners where there's been people that have literally been beheaded and stuff, and obviously they've had to go to that place and there's been blood splatter all up the wall, over the floor, and that.
We had a guy up my end, well, a little bit further away from my end, won't say where, but in Manchester, and he was walking up the street with a head. He got seen walking up the street with a head.
Oh my God, I seen that. It was it on the news and you had it in
So it was somewhere I think it was near Bury or somewhere like that. But yeah, and he was walking up the street with a head.
Weird.
And then he ended up going to someone else's house, trying to do something to them. Obviously, luckily the police got there eventually. But yeah, People are just sick.
Piss off. You're going to try and do this all the fucking episode, aren't you? I can see it now.
It's Halloween. What do you expect?
I've got a little bit of a ghost story for you.
Yep.
It's a bit of a pervy ghost, to be honest, if you think about it logically when reading the story. Obviously, I've read the story before I've read it now to you just to make sure it made any sense.
Ghost shagger or something.
Well, I won't go that far, but anyway, right. So, a lady sent this in. I was getting ready for work, and it was early morning. So obviously, I've said goodbye to my husband, and he's popped off to work, and that was none the wiser then of any other person being on the front or in my house. So that day, I had plans to go and clean the garage. So I went down, cleaned the garage, and picked up some rubbish. As I bent down, I hear some wolf whistle. So as I've stood up to look around, there was nobody there. And at first I thought, oh, maybe it's my husband that's drove a bit further down the road and whistled back to like say whatever he was saying to me. Well, no, there was absolutely not a single person around. My whole body went completely cold. I went back into the house to see if my husband had gone back into the house at all and was whistling out the window for me. Nobody was there to make that wolf whistle, so I'm not too sure where it come from. But what I can tell you is that my husband went to work that day and that noise was definitely something I heard. I feel like now, every time that I get changed or I'm in my bedroom, I feel like the whole room goes cold and someone's watching me. Yeah. Do you ever feel like someone's watching you?
Oh, I feel like there could have been more to that story. You know what I
Yeah, that
mean?
was it. That's all she gave me.
I thought you were going to say you fucking ghost come and shag.
When she's getting dressed and stuff now, obviously she still feels that someone's there and shit every so often. And the whole wolf whistling, there's no one there and yet she got wolf whistled. Like, yeah, like that. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, no, do you not ever feel like someone's watching you a little bit? Do you feel like if you fucking go to the toilet or no? Do you not have any like weird in the middle of the night or anything? Do you know when you were younger, did you not like...
I stand at the window, bollock naked, not giving a shit, and I get ready.
I can, to be fair, in my bedroom. Windows are quite high up, aren't they?
Ass.
I just mean like, have you not ever felt any like weird spirits or anything around you, or is like the room changed
Never.
temperature out? No.
No.
That one time for me.
If it goes cold, just get a dressing gown on. I don't think someone stood it over me. I just think, oh, it's gone cold. I put a dressing gown on, go home again, take it off. You know?
But no, like I've never really, other than that time that I went to that house, and it just all of a sudden just that one room felt like it was literally ice cold, but all the other rooms are all open as well, and it could have easily have been cold in them rooms. It weren't.
Yeah.
It was just like cool. And then I went into this other room, which I think was the kitchen.
You really want just a gap in the
No, honestly, when it felt like I was literally breathing out ice, well, literally breathed like that, and it was full. It was like, whereas when you went into other rooms,
cold in that room.
no. When I went into the other
See, I
rooms,
just don't believe in it. We did try and go somewhere, guys, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We drove literally about 2 hours trying to find somewhere. We drove to a house which has now been bought off someone. God, I hope you ever bought that house.
I
It's
know.
gonna get hard. So we couldn't go in there because it was all obviously fenced off. Someone's bought it and they're doing it up. So we couldn't go in there, could we? As we were leaving there, though, there was another abandoned house a little bit down the road. And there was a guy just stood at the window, wasn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Now, we drove round 3 times just to see if we were seeing things.
yeah,
And there was actually a guy stood at the window and that was up, didn't
it did. Especially because the whole house is completely blacked out in darkness, and the only thing you could see. It was me that seen it
The
first, wasn't it?
outfit, yeah.
And I don't think you believed me at first, but then I'm not joking. My whole body felt like weird as fuck, and then my eyes started watering and shit, didn't they? I
Yeah.
felt like I was gonna cry.
Then we drove to the pub, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we couldn't get in there. That's now obviously been all boarded up and all obviously fences round it. But we are going to try and go to other things. But obviously at the minute we're just busy. It's Josh's birthday soon, so we've got things planned for that. Josh is obviously going to the concert tomorrow. But we are going to try, because I really want to, like you do. Like, we are going to go to one.
So this episode, you're going to hear a few stories that we've been sent. And this is another one that Laura's going to tell you now.
It was a cold winter day when me and my friends decided it would be a good idea to go and live in a hut in the woods with some strangers. Not a fucking chance I'd be doing that, but anyway. That's one thing I would never, like, it's all right, I was saying, like, oh, yeah, let's go to these places. Like, you go and go away, don't you? I'm sorry, but I ain't staying overnight at something.
Nope.
It was an open invitation for anyone in the neighbourhood. I packed my bag with all the essentials a girl would need for a night and left with my 3 friends. I really wanted my best friend Zora to come, but since it wasn't from our area, she wasn't allowed. So I assume it was just people from where they lived. So we all met up at the meet-up spot where the others were waiting for the coach, as the woods were quite far away. There were only 10 people in total joining the camp. When we got there, we made our way to a small hut that looked like a mini house. 1 living room, kitchen and a toilet. Everyone picked a corner to huddle together as everyone was freezing. There was no phone service, so we spent the first few hours getting to know each other, names, etc. While we was all doing the experience, we played games and shared creepy stories. After a while, we went outside for dinner, sitting on the logs and eating the food we packed. It was already really dark. I started drifting away from the conversation and noticed something. A pair of eyes staring right at me, with a smile stretched from ear to ear, as long hair down to the shoulders. It was definitely a man. I screamed so loud, everyone turned and saw him too. We all then screamed and ran straight into the hut. We all then got locked together. We all then locked the door and huddled together. We all sat there close and silent. I could see everyone was very scared. I decided to do a head check to make sure everybody was inside and safe. I counted 11. 11? What? There was only 10 people that left with us on the coach. I thought I just counted someone twice, so I counted again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to 11. No. What? I knew for a fact that there was 1000% 10 people altogether when I got here. Around 3 a.m, we heard scratching at the door. Everyone woke up terrified. That was only the start. Strange noises were happening throughout the night, whispers just out of earshot, footsteps outside the hut, and cold spots that sent shivers down your spine. Finally, when everyone seemed asleep, I woke up. I heard someone walking around the hut. It looked human, but not quite. I was frozen. Heart was pounding, knowing that whoever it was knew that I wasn't asleep. I stayed as still as possible. Whatever that thing was come in and went to each single person, standing so close that I could almost hear them breathing. It stared at each of them for about 20 seconds to make sure they was asleep. Then it got to me, and I could feel its breath. It was that close, I could feel it on my cheek. My heart nearly exploded. It lingered longer by me than anyone else. I was so scared. Then it vanished into the darkness beyond where my eyes could see. Morning finally came, and it was time to leave. Couldn't have been happier. Everyone quickly disappeared. I met up with Zara, my best friend, and told her everything. Well, mostly everything, as I didn't think she would believe me. And then Zara said something that made me freeze. Crazy how there were 11 people and not 10. I couldn't believe it when you said that. I actually never ever told Zara about the extra person. That was weird. So was it Zara walking around then, hovering over people? That was a bit weird.
That was a bit weird.
Have you ever been like camping or stayed in a hut where like you've heard weird noises or like you've actually been scared?
Nah.
I'm
Again,
just
like
thinking, I don't think I have.
it's not really something I've ever gone through. Like we've stayed in a little one of those, is it like pods or whatever they're called? I think it's like the Hobbit hole it's called, in the lakes. And I've stayed there once. Never really had any weird, strange goings on and stuff there, to be fair.
It's like when you say, like, he'd go and stay in the wild not the wild, don't call it wild, would you? Is
Yeah.
it wild? Yeah. He'd go and stay in the wild, in the forest, like, not giving a shit in a tent, but me. Oh, no.
I stayed in a hammock,
No.
literally attached to one tree and another tree in the middle of the woods. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me stuff like that. What bothers me, I wouldn't stay in a house overnight, like stuff like that, because I know then there's actually a hauntedness to it. Maybe potentially that something could happen in a house. You can't get out.
I'm more scared of a burglar than someone haunting me when I'm at home, to be honest.
This is a taxi driver story, so you're going to be a bit like, a taxi driver's spooky story. What the fuck? Like, what spooky stuff can a taxi driver go through? Well, listen to this shit. It's around 9 p.m. On a Friday night. I'm a taxi driver, and as you can imagine, I've seen it literally all. I picked up a woman who was at first okay, and she got a phone call. And from what I could hear, she was arguing with a man on the phone. He was shouting things like, I need it as soon as you can. I don't give a shit how you get it. You fucking better get it, me, etc. She was shouting back, and then the phone went down. Now, I don't really make much money as a taxi driver, but I do love my job, and I wouldn't change it for the world. You meet all kinds of characters, and she was one of them. We were travelling towards a drop-off point and past an industrial estate. Wind wipers going so fast that I literally couldn't see a thing, to be honest, because it was pissing it down as well. We get to a drop-off point, she gets out and walks away. I look down to put money that she just gave me into my bag. Within a split second that I've looked down to look back up again, she stood at my driver's window. Bearing in mind, I've just watched her completely walk off into the distance, and she was just staring at me. She then slowly raised her arm and asked that I put the window down. So obviously I did. I ask, have you left anything? She says nothing to me, she just stares at me. So I ask again, are you all good? Have you left anything? She says, no, but I didn't thank you enough. Her eyes were actually widening a bit at this point, so it was scaring me. Rain was also running into the car window and I was getting soaked. So she starts fumbling around in her bag and I become a bit more panicky, thinking she was going to pull or something on me. So I then start to go to pick my phone up. As I looked away from my door window to look over my passenger side to pick my phone up, she'd gone again. Next day passes by. I checked my jobs from the night before. Her job wasn't even on the books. She hadn't even paid me. When I checked my dash cam footage as well from the night before, from the time that I collected this said person, she wasn't even there. I was talking to myself.
Don't believe that. So, these people are just going insane now.
So this whole thing, him thinking that he literally had this woman in his car screaming and shouting at her partner and everything.
It's weird, isn't it?
Do you know what I mean? So like, how fucked is that? Like,
So yeah.
not yet.
Oh, he's ruined all the decor.
Oh, fuck me, I'm knocking everything. Can't you tell it's the end of the episode? That's what I think makes it worse, doesn't it? When it's like the afterlife, and if you do lose anyone, whether it be your child or whether it be your grandma, granddad, etc., it's shit that you physically can't communicate with them, and the only way that to do that is obviously through mediums. And I've never really been like a massive fan of them either, with respect. It's like, it's not something that I like going to, just because you don't even know if they're actually telling the truth or not sometimes, and whether they're just there literally making some stuff up. I mean, because the amount of things that they can find now on social media, you don't actually know if they've already just been on your social media and checked you out and stuff, because you have to give your details when you go to these places. I think that was a good episode though.
Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Episode
17. Oh my god, 17. And you'll notice as well, we've actually started to get the episodes right, because the previous episode, Blondie and I decided to fucking say episode.
Keep up now though. We've had so many now.
Yeah.
Like literally.
And yeah, that's
Thanks
about it
for
really.
watching, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Love
watching.
you all.
Say something!